Hi everyone, I'm Abhisar Ahuja and welcome to the Simplilearn YouTube channel. This session will introduce you to the Tkinter module, its widgets and their uses. After that, using these widgets, we will create a dollar to rupee converter. But before we begin, if you love watching tech videos, subscribe to our channel, like the tutorial and hit that bell icon to never miss an update. And I hope the screen is clearly visible and the audio is fine. If yes, please type in yes in the chat section below, and if there are any issues, to let us know. Before starting, let us have a simple question to brush up on our knowledge. And your question is: list, tuple, and range are the dash of data types. And your options are sequence types, binary types, boolean types, or none of the mentioned above. Please answer in the comment section below and we'll update the correct answer in the pinned comment. You can pause the video, give it a thought, and answer in the comment section. And insightful for you guys. If you are focused on building strong foundational skills for career growth, in that case, you can check out a free course to learn Python basics with a completion certificate from SkillUp by Simplilearn. You can check the Python basics free SkillUp course with the link in the description box below. And with that, we will start our tutorial for Tkinter. So first, we will create a folder. I will move to C drive, and in Python projects, I will create a folder with the name Tkinter tutorial, and inside I will open the command prompt and write the command code space period and press enter to open my IDE. That is, I'm using the Visual Studio Code. You can use any IDE you want or you have your hands on. So now we will make a file and name it as tt.py. You would be amazed to know that there are various GUI frameworks for Python, but only Tkinter is included in the standard library. That is, if you install the Python, it would come along with that only. You don't need to install it again or write any command to install it again. And Tkinter has a number of advantages. The same code runs on Windows, macOS, and Linux since it is cross platform oriented. And in contrast to other frameworks, Tkinter is lightweight and generally simple to use. This makes it an appealing option for creating GUI apps in Python. So, starting with first, we'll import Tkinter module. For that, we will write the command import Tkinter and we'll use an alias here and we'll import it as tk. So first we need to create a Tkinter window and we will add a single widget in that and show you guys how we'll create that window. So first you will get your Python IDE open and just import the Tkinter module as we have imported here. And now to make the window, we'll write a command window equal to tk what we have imported and we'll write tk and enclosed circle brackets. Here window is an instance of tkinter's tk class. Now we will create a new window and assign it to the variable window. So this is the tk class. Now when we write window.main loop, so it will repeat the loop, and when we add widgets in it, it will keep on repeating and it will show you the window with all the widgets. So first we'll save this file and run it. You can see that we have the Tkinter window here. So this is how you create a Tkinter window. Now moving on. Now we will set the title for the Tkinter window. I will show you again as it was showing TK. It's showing TK. So we will change the title for the Tkinter window. And to change that, we'll write a command window dot title, and in the circular brackets we will write the title we want for our Tkinter window. I will write Simplilearn Tkinter tutorial. So yeah, I will save this and run this file for you guys. So you can see that it has shown the title. So we'll just stretch it and you can see the title here. So we can stretch the Tkinter window till we have not set the resizable method false. If we set it as false or 0, it would not be able to stretch the Tkinter window as we are able to stretch it now. So this arrow, it won't be available after we set it as false. Now moving on, after setting the title, now we will set the geometry. That means the dimensions for the Tkinter window. For that we'll use the geometry method, and it's a fundamental method which decides the size, position, and some other attributes of the screen layout we are going to create. So for that, we'll write a command window dot geometry, and inside you could write the dimensions. First we will set the width, that is x-axis. We'll set it as 600 pixels. Then we'll write small x. Then the y-axis or the height of the window, we'll set it as 500. And after that we will add plus. What this indicates is 290 pixels. That is, the window will appear on the screen 290 pixels from the x-axis. And for y-axis, we will add 10. So it would appear 10 pixels from the y-axis. So we'll save this and run it. You could see that 290 pixels from the x-axis and 10 pixels from the y-axis. And we've set the geometry, that is 600 pixels, that is the width or the x-axis, and 500, that is the y-axis, the height. So now moving on, now we have created the window. Now we'll add a widget and show you guys how we add a widget. Before that, let us know what kind of widgets we have in Tkinter. So in this tutorial, we will be learning around 5 widgets. So we will start with label. And label, it's a widget that is used to display text on the Tkinter window or your screen. And next, we would be having the button widget that can contain text and can perform an action when clicked. It could have any action or it could have just a text without any action. Then we will have the entry widget. It's used to get any entry from the user or a single line of text. It also get multi lines of text. For that we have to set other attributes. And next we would be seeing the frame. So a frame, it's a rectangular region used to group related widgets or provide padding between widgets. So these are the 5 widgets that we would be learning. So I counted you 4, but here you will learn other widgets, that would be canvas, and you would see the photo image object and other things. So moving on, we'll use many widgets. First, we'll create a single widget and show you guys how we'll create it, and we'll start with the label widget. So for that, we will call the label class for that, and I will set you greeting for you guys. So greeting equal to label. So here we will use tk.label class to add some text to a window. We will create a label widget with the text hello learners, welcome to Tkinter tutorial, and assign it to a variable greeting as we have started assigning it. And the window you created earlier doesn't change. You just create a label widget, but you haven't added it to the window yet. There's several ways to add widgets to a window. Right now, we can use the label widget, and then we'll use the grid method or the pack method or the place method to show that widget on your window screen or on the Tkinter window. So starting with creating the widget, now we'll set the text for it, and text that would be equal to hello learners and welcome to Tkinter tutorial. And by the way guys, some people call it as Kinter. I call it as Tkinter, and many call it as TK Inter. So you guys can pronounce it at any way. Okay, so welcome to Tkinter tutorial. Now here we will use the place method. So for that we'll use greeting the dot place, and here we'll use tk dot label, and we will place it at here. We will assign the coordinates as we have created a window with x-axis and y-axis. Here we will assign our x coordinate as 190 and y coordinate as 210. As we have the window, and in that we have x-axis at full length of 600 and y-axis with 500. So we are placing it at 190 and at y-axis at 210. And similarly with the place widget, we have like Tkinter has three built-in layout managers that use geometric methods to position widgets in an application frame. First we have pack widget that organizes widgets in horizontal and vertical boxes that are limited to left, right, top, bottom positions and many other positions. Each box is offset and relative to each other. And here we are using the place. So place places widgets in a two-dimensional grid using x and y absolute coordinates. Then we have the grid. So grid method locates widgets in a two-dimensional grid using row and column absolute coordinates. One thing is important when you use this pack, place or grid, you should not be combined these all in the same master window. Instead, choose one and stick with it. Further, you will know why we should stick with one only. So here we have created a label and placed it in a variable greeting. So we'll save this and run the window. You can see that the Tkinter window has appeared, and we can see the text that is placed on a label, and the text says hello learners, welcome to the Tkinter tutorial. Now moving on, we will comment this, and now we will add some functionalities to the label widget only. So for that we will create label, and here we'll not assign it to any variable. Like we will assign it to a variable and name it as label only. Tk dot label, and this would be capital for label, and inside we'll add the text, and that would be same, that would be hello learners Welcome to Tkinter tutorial. After setting the text for our label, here we can set the foreground and the background color. So for that, we will write FG, that is foreground, and that would be equal to white color. And we'll set the background for the label as green. For that, we'll write the command bg equal to green. And now to get this label showed on your Tkinter window, you have to use any of the three methods, that is pack, place or grid. So now we will use the place method only. So first we'll write the variable name, that is label, and the place method, and inside we'll set the coordinates, that is x equal to 190 and y equal to 210. Now we'll save this and run the file for you guys. You can see that the label has got the background color as green and the foreground color for text as white. So now, moving on, we can add other attributes to the label widget, and that would be the width and the height. So for that, we'll write width, that would be equal to 30, and height, we'll set it as 10. So now, we'll save this and run the file again. You can see that it has expanded itself. So we have set the width equal to 30, that is the x-axis. It has expanded to 30 pixels and height equal to 10 pixels. So I have told you that label widgets are used to display text or images, and the text displayed by a label widget can't be edited by the user. It's for display purpose only. Label widgets display text with the default system text color and the default text background color. These are typically black and white, respectively, but you may see different colors if you have changed these settings in your operating system. And you can control label text and background colors using the foreground and background parameters, as we have seen that. So moving on, as you have set the color with the words here, you could also set them with the hexacode. So to set them with the hexacode, you could just write the hexacode for the color, and here I will use this purple color, or what, there would be a specific like the dark blue, magenta, what you call this color. So I will save this and run it for you guys. First I will close this. So here you can see that I have set the color with the hexacode, and like the text, it's coming out of the width. So for that, we'll set the width as 50. Oh, I will set it as 500. Set as 50. Close the previous window, save the file, and run it again. Here you can see that we have set the width as 50 and y-axis, that is height, as 10. So moving on, we will start with button widgets. So we'll close this Tkinter window and command down this. Now we'll start with button widget. So button widgets are used to display clickable buttons. Like there would be text and those buttons would be clickable. you can configure them to call a function whenever they are clicked. And in many ways, a button is just a label that you can click. So as we have set the height and width for the label, we can set it with the same parameters. And the difference is you can just click, and that turns out to be a button widget. So to make the button widget, we will start with a variable, and to set the button, we'll use tk.button, and inside we will set the text that would be click me to say hi. So when you click it, I will have to set a function to get its functionality. So click me to say hi. So this would be the text that would be displayed on the button, and then we'll set the width for the button, and we'll set it as 25 pixels, and then the height, and that would be 2 pixels. So width, that would be equal to 25, and height, that would be equal to we'll set it as 2 pixels only. And then we'll set the background color, that would be white, and we'll set the foreground color as black. Background color is white, and for foreground we'll use FG, and that would be equal to black. And now if you want to add some functionality, you can add it in the command. So first we will declare the function and add the functionality for a button, and after that we can use the command. So we'll just pack it and see how a button looks in a Tkinter window. So for that we will use, okay, we have written it here. Sorry for that. So we are set with the button. Yeah. So we'll save this file and click on the run button. You can see that the button is displayed on the Tkinter window. So it's clickable. So that's what make it differentiate from the label. It's clickable. Now we will add functionality so that mm, we can have some text when we click on this. So for that, first we'll create a, and we'll create the function here and name it as hello. And here we will create a label in this function, and inside we will place a text, and that would be hi learners, welcome to Tkinter tutorial. And now in this function only we will set, like in the label, for the label we'll set the foreground color. Foreground color we'll set it as white, and background color we will set it as green. Okay. Now we will pack it so that it gets visible on a Tkinter window. So we can also pack it here. We will just use the pack method and it will get showed up in a Tkinter window. So now we have created a method or a function and we have that functionality. Now we have to set this functionality to a button. So for that we will write command and that would be equal to the name of the function, that is hello, and it's capital H. Okay, and we have packed the button, so no need to do it again. So we'll save this and run it. So you can see that we are seeing a button here and that says click me to say hi. That is what we have set the text for it. When we click it, we see the functionality, that is it has displayed a label with background color that is green and foreground color that is white, and it displays the text as hi learners, welcome to Tkinter tutorial. So this is about the button widget. Now moving on, now we'll start with the entry widget. So for that, oh sorry, first we'll comment this and we'll also comment this function. So now we'll start with the enter widget. So why we use enter widget? When we want to get text from a user like a name or an email address, we use an enter widget. It's a display that display a small text box that the user can type some text into. So creating and styling an entry widget works pretty much exactly like the label and the button widgets. So we will start with the enter widget, and for that first we'll create a label only, and on that label we'll place the enter widget. So first we'll create a variable and name it as label only, and after that we will go with this like creating label, and then we will add some text to the label. That would be, it will ask for what is your name, or we'll just add name to it, and here we will create the enter widget. For that we will create a variable and name it as entry, and now we'll create the entry widget. So this is the simple method to create any entry widget. We have created that, and now we have to place or pack or grid it to get a display on a Tkinter window. So here we will use pack label.pack, and we'll also pack the enter widget. So we are done. Now we'll save it and run it. You can see that we have created a label and placed the text here, that is name, and beneath that we have packed an enter widget, and inside we can enter anything. That's my name Abhisara Huja, and you can enter anything. So these are the basic functionalities for the enter widget. You could see our other videos to get the hands on this entry widget and other widgets to get the other attributes and functionalities and use them in any app you want to make. So moving on, we will comment this, or I will give you another example for the entry widget. So for that, first we will create a label only, and inside we will place the master, that is the window, and assign text to it, and that would be name only. Here we will create a form, and it won't be having some functionalities to store the information, but it would be a form for name, email, password, and for that we'll use the enter widgets. So we have created a label here, and here you will, so we will use the place method to get it displayed on the Tkinter window, and we'll set the x coordinate as 30 and y as 50 pixels. And moving on, we will set the entry widget and a label. First we'll set the label for email, so for that we'll also create a label, and inside we'll pass the master, that is window, and set the text as email only, so it get displayed on the label. Now we'll use the place method only to get it displayed on our Tkinter window, and for this I will use x equal to 30 and y equal to 90. It would in the same x coordinates, and in y direction it would be shifted downwards, and that would be y equal to 90. Now I will create another label and store it in a variable that would be password, and to create it I will write tk dot label, sorry, and here the small l for label, and inside we will pass the master window, that is window, and set the text as password only. And now we will place this label, and we'll set the x coordinate as 30, and y will shift it downwards and set it as 130. Yeah, so these would be the labels. And now see these labels, like how they're placed. So you can see name, email, password, and now we will place enter widgets in front of them. So to get the enter widgets, first we will assign a variable, and inside that we will create an entry widget, that would be tk.entry, and inside we will pass a master window, and now we will place this at x equal to 80, like it would be sufficient, I think so. Now we will see when we will get the display now. Okay, so we have set the x coordinate as 80 and y as 50. Now we will make another entry widget for email and then for password. So for this we will name the variable as e2, and here we will, just a second, okay, we have to, okay, we will do it tk.entry, and e would be capital for that, and that would be the master window, and we'll place this at x equal to 80, and y will shift it downwards. That would be same for the label email, that was 90. And now we'll create another variable, that is e3, and for that we have created an entry widget, and now we will place this and set the x coordinate as 80 only, and y coordinate that would be the same for the label, that was 130. So we will save this and run it. You could see that name, email, password, that are the labels, and we have got our enter widgets and it's overwriting. So we will set this as 100. We'll save it and run it. You could see that it has shifted 20 pixels apart from this from its previous position. So this is about the enter widget. So this is a basic tutorial. So I won't be getting into the get method, delete method, or the insert method. So there are three main operations that you can perform with entry widgets. That is retrieving text with get method, that is dot get method, and deleting text, that is with delete method, and inserting text, that is with insert method. So we will do this much only in this basic tutorial. And moving on, now we will create some frames. So frame widgets are important for organizing the layout of your widgets in an application. Like you have many widgets and you have used around 3 to 4 widgets and you want to organize them. So you have to create widget that is frame, and inside that frame widget you can organize all the other widgets. So an empty frame widget is practically invisible. You won't be able to see that if you haven't placed any widget in that. So frames are best thought of as containers for other widgets. You can assign a widget to a frame by setting the widget's master attribute, as we have set the master attribute as window in the enter widget, and in the label as we have seen in the enter widget example. So here we will start with creating frames, and for that first we will assign a variable frame underscore a, and that would be equal to tk dot frame. We will create a frame, sorry, and now we will create a label for that, and we will assign the variable as label underscore a, and that would be equal to tk dot label, and inside we would get this label fixed into the frame. So for that we will set the master as frame. So we have set the variable as master here, and this variable contains the frame. Now we will add the text to the label, and that would be, this is frame a. We will name it as a, and here we can set the background color also. So here we will use the hexa code for that. We won't write the simple name of the color, so here we will write the hexa code and have taken its inverted comma. So now we have to set the background color, and that would be in the inverted commas only. So we will start with hash, and we'll set the color as, I remember the hexacode for 468 to be 4. to color. So you will get the background color, and now we will pack this label so that it gets displayed on your Tkinter window. Okay, so for that we will write the variable and use the pack method, and now we'll create another frame and store it in a variable frame underscore b, and inside we will create a frame tk dot frame, and here we will create another label that would be label underscore b, and that would be equal to tk dot label, and here we'll set the master as frame only, as we will be setting this label into the frame. So for that we'll write frame underscore b. Now we'll set the text that would be this is frame b. Okay, now we'll set the background color, and we'll set the background color different from the above so you can differentiate that. So I remember E9967A, and for the hexa code you have to use hash. So what you call this color, like light red, light orange, or anything. So just get that sorted. So we'll pack this widget. For that we'll use the variable label underscore b. We'll use the pack method, and we have packed it. Now we will save this, showing the red. Okay, we have not placed the inverted comma here, so we'll save this and run it. Okay, label is not defined, so we have written label. Okay, so sorry for my silly mistake. So we'll save this and run it again for you guys. So here we are not able to see it. So what? Oh, we have not packed the frame here, so we would not be able to see that. So we'll pack it here only. So first we'll pack frame underscore a dot pack, and then frame underscore b dot pack. Now we'll save this and run it again. You could see there's two frames displaying, that is, this is the frame a and this is the frame b, and this is the label on above the frame. And if we just swap these packs, what would happen? Let's see. We'll save this and run the file again. You could see that the frame has been shifted. So the pack method, it just pack the widgets line by line in a layer form. So you must be careful with that. Okay, so now we'll see some appearance for the frames. We have seen how to create a frame. Now we'll see how these frames can be displayed, how its appearances are. Like we have the 5 appearances. We'll discuss it, and we will adjust these frames according to their appearances, and these appearances can be called out with the method or with the attribute that is relief. So frame widgets can be configured with a relief attribute that creates a border around the frame. You can set relief to be any of the values, that is the flat value that we have seen that has no border effect, the default value. Then there is sunken, that is sunken in the capitals, that it creates a sunken effect. I will show you like what that effect is. Then we have the raised, then groove, and the ridge. So for that, we will see a simple example. And one important thing, to apply this border effect, we must set the border width attribute to a value greater than 1. This attribute adjusts the width of the border in pixels. So for that, we will create the frames, and we will start with border, and that would be equal to, we will create a dictionary here. So for the flat keyword, we will create a, in the capital letters we have to write flat. Okay, and for the sunken, we will create tk dot sunken. Okay, and in dictionary we have to place the commas, and after sunken we have raised, groove, and ridge. So for that, we'll write raised, and we will create tk. I have done a mistake above. So this would be tk dot sunken, comma, and now we will have the groove border. That is tk dot groove, comma, and after that ridge. That is tk dot ridge. Okay, so now we will run a loop for relief underscore name, comma, relief in, we have set the border, and that is, we will iterate these items one by one. And now we will create a frame that would be tk dot frame, and set the master as window, and relief equal to relief, and set the border width. That's also the point, and we'll set it as 5. Okay, and now we will pack this frame. So for that we'll use the pack method, frame dot pack, and now we will create a label, that is tk dot label, and inside we'll set the master as frame, and text, we'll set the text as relief underscore name, and then we'll pack this label. Okay, now we'll save this and display it for you guys. So you could see that first we have the flat frame, then sunken, then raised, then groove, then ridge. Okay, so if you want to set these frames on the left side, for that you can use tk dot left attribute. We'll save this and run it for you guys. Oh, we have to assign it inside. Sorry, I will save this and run it for you guys. So you can see that it has shifted to left. Like all these are packed in the left direction, all the frames. So now moving on. Now we will see the frames with different colors. I will just comment this down, and now we will get the frames. We'll start with a variable and name it as frame1 and create a frame tk dot frame with capital F, and inside we'll set the master as window and width as 100 and height as 100, and background color we'll set it as red. And now we will pack this frame. So this frame would be of the red color. So to pack this, we will write frame1, that is the variable in which the frame has been stored, and we'll use the pack method. So we have packed it. Now we will use fill to fill this frame in the whole window. For that we'll write fill equal to tk dot capital S X. So it will get this frame fulfilled in the window in the X direction. And similarly we will create another frame. I will copy paste it and name the variable as frame2, and inside I will change the color, and I will set the width and height now. Okay, I will show you like how it will work. Pack this frame2 dot pack, and now we'll also set another frame and name it as frame3. Okay, and for this also we have to set another color so that we can differentiate that which frame is this. So we'll set it as blue. Now we'll save this and run it. So you can see that we have set the width and height, but we have used the fill attribute to fill it in the whole x, x direction. So it has got filled up. So these are the three frames we have created. Now we have seen the basics or the beginner for the Tkinter module. Now using these modules, we will create a simple project that would be dollar to rupee converted, as I have told you earlier in the starting, in the introduction. For that, we will just create a new file and name it as dollar to rupee converter.py. So if like rupee, so here we will use the current value of what $1 is equal to rupee, we will set it as current value. So we will search it in the web and use it in a function. Okay, so we'll make this project a simple one, or just a simple app to get you hands on with these widgets. Okay, so starting with importing. So first we'll import Tkinter, and as we have seen earlier, we've used alias for that, and here also we'll use that. And after that, we will create window that is equal to tk, or tk class, and window dot main loop. Okay, now we will set the geometry of the window. So for that we will write, and we will set the x-axis with 300 pixels and small x, and y-axis is 250 pixels. Okay, and we won't be adding some pixels to the x or the y direction. It will just come in the default section that this ideally would get it appear to. Okay, now we'll use the configure function and set the background color. So with configure, you could set the background color and other attributes. So for that we'll write window dot config, and inside we'll set the background color bg equal to, and I remember the hexa code for that. Here we will use hexa code, or you could just write the name of the color. Okay, E9N67A, we have used it previously, the light red color. Okay, now I have discussed with you that the resizable function, but we haven't used it in the former, that is the py file, but here we will use. So for that we will write window dot resizable, and inside we will set the width equal to false and height also as false. So you won't be able to adjust its width or height, and you won't be seeing any arrow for that. Okay, like if you place the cursor on the border of the window now, you won't be able to see any error to get it stretched out in the x or y direction. So we have used the resizable function for that. Now we'll set the title for this window. For that we'll write window.title, and inside we'll write the title, that would be $2 Rupee Converter. Converter. Okay, now first we will start with a label, and we will add the heading as $2 Rupee Converter only. So for that we will create a label and place it inside the variable L1 tk dot label, and inside we will pass the master as window and set the text as $2 Rupee Converter. And we can set the font also. Okay, for that we'll just use the font attribute, and inside we have to place these in a circular braces. So for that we'll write, we have taken its inverted comma. We'll use Arial here. Okay, and set the font size as 15. Now we'll close the circular bracket. Okay, we have to close one more, and we'll set the foreground color as white. Okay, and we'll also set background color, and that we would set as hexacode BC0. Array C0. Okay, and that would be in the inverted commas, else it would be termed as the comment only. And now we'll close the circular bracket. Okay, and we will pack it at the last only. Now we will create another label, and for that we'll store it in L2 variable. For that we'll write tk dot label, and inside we'll pass window as master and text, and here we will set the label as enter dollar amount. Okay, so that will write text enter dollar amount. Okay, now we will add some functionality, and after amount we'll write the colon. Now we'll set its font, in the circular braces, and we'll set this also as Arial, and set its size just smaller than the heading, that would be dollar to rupee converter. We'll set it as 10. Okay, and we'll set it as bold. This we have to place it in inverted commas, and after the font we'll set the foreground color, that would be equal to white, and then we'll set the background color. We have taken the inverted comma of the white. Now we'll set the background color, and for that we'll write the hexacode, and that would be A569BD. So we'll see this purple color, so I call it purple. I'm bad with color, so you can see what you want to call this color, or like what's the fundamental name of this color. So now we have created two labels, enter dollar amount, and now we will get another label, and that would be for amount in rupees. Like after we will execute the dollar to rupee, so that would be displayed in that label, that would be displayed just beneath this label that we will be creating, that would be L3. And for that we will write tk dot label, and inside we will pass the master as window, and set the text as amount in rupees. Okay, and now we will set its font, and we'll set it same only as Arial, and with the font size 10, and we'll also set it as bold. Okay, so outside this font we will set the foreground and background color, and that would be foreground color white, and background color we'll write the hexacode for that only, and that would be same A569 BD. Okay, now we will create entry widgets. So first entry widget, that would be for entering the amount, enter dollar amount. So this enter widget would be beneath the enter dollar amount label. So for that we will create a variable even and create an entry widget tk dot entry, and we have e capital for the entry, and inside we will pass master as window, and we'll set the font as Arial, the circular braces. Okay, and set the font size as 10 and no bold for it. Okay, and in the window, first we have created the heading that was in the label, that is dollar to rupee converter. Then we have created a label enter dollar amount, and beneath that we have created an entry widget in which we will enter the dollar amount, and then we will create a button to convert this dollar amount into the rupee. So now we would be creating a button. So we will name the variable as button1. Now we will pass the window as master and set the font as Arial and font size as 10 only. No, mm, but for button first we have to set the text now what it should display. So it should display convert to dollar. No, convert to dollar, convert to rupee. Okay, so we have set the text and we have set the font, and now we have to place a command, and in that command we have to place a function so that it should convert the dollar amount into the rupee. So we have to create a function. We will create it here. Okay, and name it as convert only. So for that we will write convert, and inside we will set a variable and integer type, and here we are using the get method to get the text that we have inputted in the entry widget that is stored in the even variable. And after that we will create a variable f, and inside we will write the dollar value against a rupee, that is 80.71 rupees is equal to $1. So that would be multiplied with the dollar amount, that would be C, but we will get it. Oh, sorry. Okay, so now we we will create a text widget. So for that, we will create a variable that is t1 and create a text widget tk dot text, and inside we will pass the window as master and set the state as disabled. I will tell you why. Disabled, and set its width as 15 and height as 0. Okay, so we will also configure this in the function. Okay, so we'll configure this and write as t1 dot config, and we'll set its state equal to normal. Okay, and t1 dot delete, that is, if you want to delete, you can delete it as one by one, tk dot end, and t1 dot insert, and set it as its state as disabled. Okay, now we will pack all these widgets. First we'll start with labels, l1 dot pack, then l2 dot pack, then entry widget that is stored in e1 dot pack, and then button dot pack, and then l3 dot pack, and then t1 dot pack. Okay, now we'll save this and run it. Okay, so we have to create empty text, like empty labels. We will create it here, empty underscore l1, and create a label that is tk dot label, okay, and inside we will pass window and set the background color equal to, that would be E9967, oh sorry, E9967A, that is the light red color. Okay, and here we will create an empty label that is tk dot label, and now we will pass the master as window and background color as light red only. We'll write the same hexacode E9967A. Sorry, I press shift also with that. So okay, now let's save our program and run it. So we're getting an error that is defined at state equal to normal. Okay. Able to find any error, so we'll just run it again only. Okay, we got that. So you can see that it's not resizable. We have created the convert method to create the dollar amount. That is, we have entered the dollar amount, that is 1, and we click on the button that is convert to dollar. It would reflect us to 82.71. And if we get it deleted and enter the dollar amount as 56 and click on the button that is convert to dollar, it would display us as 56 into the value that is 82.71. So this is the small project that we have created using the widgets, that is the Tkinter widgets. So I hope like you code these all the widgets. So this was the basic tutorial. If you want to learn more, you can just see the other videos that is in the I button. And at end, I have something insightful for you guys. If you guys are aiming to get certified in Python programming and want to build a Python software development career, in that case, you can check this Python certificate course by Simplilearn, which will open the doors for the best career opportunities. To find the details of this Python certification course, just check in the description box. I will just add the link there, and it could be the ideal solution to help you build your career in the right direction. And with that, I hope this session was interesting and informative. If you liked it, please let us know in the comment section below, and also do subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for more from Simplilearn.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.